Like Cassian, he seems like he has, like I was saying, with spiderweb. Yeah, or now he seems more sensitive, kind of like got the spidey senses. Well, oh my god. So, he's really good, right? But don't you think they're also better when they're dried out? It's like they're easy to grab without being like all over the wall. Yeah, they're very good. Yeah. It's gonna be fun to see the next episode. Can't wait. Yeah, we would go ahead if you want. Yeah, we should watch Black Mirror. We should probably finish this first before we watch Black Mirror. The Black Mirror can wait. This one's like way more intense. We could do like Black Mirror on Thursday or Friday. Plus, like, we know this is their final season, so it's completely. Black Mirror's gonna have many more seasons. Black Mirror, I mean, that's like a whole movie. This one's dead. It's an end. Yeah, you're right. It's definitely. But the thing is, they're gonna be able to do something about that 1 year they skipped. I don't know what it is. Sounds great. Star Wars did it. The Houston franchise does really well. For you to be able to go backwards. Did you see they're doing the Darth Maul? Make a prequel. Did you see they're doing they announced the Darth Maul animated series? Oh, when? When did that announce? At their it's an event of that. It's an event of it. Oh, good. That'd be fun. You can do that. Yeah, some underrated characters. I feel like you just kill them and they don't ever really talk about them. Yeah. It's like solid character. Not bad. When's that coming? Big things that thing. So the Star Wars Celebration was last week. And day one, they announced Maul Shadow Lord, the Star Wars original series. And then 2026.
Have a good day at work tomorrow.
Thanks, man. Have a good day tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know. I have some work to do, so I'll try to keep, sane in the house. Anyways, you have a good one.
Oh yeah, I'll see you tomorrow for the new episode.
Yeah, I know, right? One more. Oh, it's gonna be so much fun. Get a good night's rest, you champion. Oh, hey. Let's start recording. Right? I'm Benjamin James Magrdichian. And you're watching me here on the interweb. I'm here for you if you're here for me. It is a live stream experience that I do on a regular basis. I'm going to get myself seated in this chair. We're going to do piano talk for just a little while. Not that late tonight. I'm just going to tell some stories about going to California Adventure yesterday. And we're going to hang out here on the interwebs just for a bit as I live stream here on YouTube and on TikTok like I normally do. It's great to do it. It's great to be here. It's great to have you here. I live stream daily, so do feel free to come back. I'm here to entertain you, but to also create an environment for you to be able to entertain yourself and also talk to other people and talk to me. So do feel free to talk to the other people that are in the room. As in, there's a live chat here on YouTube and here on TikTok. Feel free to talk to the people that are in that live chat, and do feel free to, I don't know, maybe make a friend or get to know one of the moderators, say hi to some of the moderators. If you want to support those moderators and tell them they're doing a good job, I do support you on doing that because I support them, and I also like hearing other people support them as well and say nice things to them. Or if you're like, hey, I really appreciate those mods, so I'm going to say go mods, I would appreciate that too. Those moderators that are here on YouTube and on TikTok are here for fun, so do feel free to interact with them and do be nice to them. If they're giving you a chance to not get muted, you should probably listen to them, and you should just kind of try to be nice and playful in the chat, but keep things PG. That's really the only way they'll step in, is if you're not nice and playful, and if you're not keeping things PG. We don't mind some sort of conflicts every now and then. No one's gonna agree about everything or anything, actually. Sometimes it doesn't really matter. Regardless, at the end of the day, let's thank those moderators here on YouTube. We've got Brandon, Liz, Gabby, Peaceful Kevin, Sarah, Sunita, Sarita, so Indian, and we also got Danita Bonita, and we have ourselves one of them Juliet's, a Juliet, and we also have I believe Ray, Marjorie's one of them now. Yeah, I know. I've been adding some moderators over here. We also have Lauren. We have Leo, and we have Miranda Rosanna and Dougie, or Doggy. Anyways, those are our moderators here on YouTube. I do appreciate them, and I think I might be missing one. But if I am, just say something in the chat. I'll give you attention because I do care about you. And it's like, it's hard to keep track of all these mods, but I do want to give them all a shout out, and I'm only getting better at mentioning them each time I do. And usually I do it real fast, but it's just one of those days where I'm getting real tired, and it's going to be a wind down of my day here in this live stream. So I'll interact with the chat in just a second. But if you're watching here on TikTok, I also got to give you guys recognition as well. Those moderators on this platform, like Mikey Milwaukee, Joe, Javier, Bobo Gizmo, Grant, and Grant goes by the name I only follow Ben. We also have Juliet and Danita Bonita Torito Burrito. And we got ourselves one of those Rems, a Lizzie Izzy, and an Abby Banana Fan of Hope Abby. Everyone needs an Abby. We got ourselves an Abby. Anyways, thanks for being here on my YouTube and my TikTok live stream. It's not going to last that long tonight because it is, one of those nights where I just got to get some rest. I've been pretty sleepy these days, and I got to get myself some sleep. But I'm still going to hang out with you guys for a little bit here on my Tuesday? Yeah, it's Tuesday. Dang. It's just one of those days. Anyways, welcome to my live stream experience, and hopefully you're having a good day. If you're not having a good day, hopefully I can step that back and make it a good day for you instead of it being a bad day. I'm not really sure what you're going through. Regardless, this is the internet, and hopefully you found me to distract you. If you want me to distract you, that's just 100% on you. I see people are jumping in the room. Jamie Lynn's in the room. Nice to see you here. Thanks for the cowboy hat. I do appreciate it, and I appreciate you being here. You call... Oh, I gotta allow this to happen. Hey man, how's it going? We'll do a battle. We're just jumping right into things. Thanks for being here. If you're watching here on YouTube, I'm actually paying attention to TikTok live stream. I see people are saying things in chat. Can't read it right now, but we're over here doing a battle with Mr. Jutt. Hold on, I gotta see what was hair. Is it extra crazy tonight? Thanks, Max. You call me Juliet the coolest? The Cooliet? I can call you Juliet the Cooliet. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Ray's saying Ben, Audrey saying hello. I'm going to try to keep up with the chat best of my abilities, but we're in the middle of a battle, guys. Oh, and I see that I've been giving gifts. Yes, thanks for the roses. Thanks for jumping in, guys. Thanks for being here. We're going to tell a story tonight after we're done with this battle with Mr. Jutt. This is just happening, usually. And we've got Jamie being so nice, giving me those wonderful roses. I do appreciate you, girl. Thanks for being here. And thanks for those goats, Audrey. I do appreciate it as well. If you're watching me here on TikTok or on YouTube, it doesn't really matter. We're here in a live stream experience that I do try to say things out loud to keep you in the loop. If you're rewatching this on YouTube, I'm trying my best to make it so then things are happening in the chat. But you can't rewatch the chat over here on YouTube. So, if you're saying things in the live stream experience, in the live chat, you won't be able to reread those later on. But you will be able to rewatch this live stream experience, and you can comment in the comments below when it's uploaded for you to be able to do so. Anyways, we're over here on TikTok. We're in the middle of a battle, and there's this much time left. If you tap on the stream, you can really help me do what I can do to make it a win. I can't really do much of anything. It's all on you guys. And if you decide to be gifters and you decide to contribute, well, that's gonna be what does it. But I see we got a lot from Jamie Lynn and a lot from Audrey, and it's really nice to have you guys here, and it's nice to have you in the room being part of it. We also have Sarah in the room. Nice to have you, Sarah. Thanks for being here. Thanks for liking. Oh, the Galaxy. Thank you so much for the Galaxy. I love seeing that. Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones right there. Thanks for giving me that. And look, I'm going up against Mr. Jutt right now, and yeah, just getting something like that just makes me feel real real heartfelt. Like, that was really good. We're going to tell a story after we're done doing this battle with Mr. Jutt, which we got 2 minutes left. And these are the California Adventure maps that I got yesterday when I was at California Adventure. And we're going to talk about what happened at California Adventure and, discuss it a little bit. And then we're going to end the live stream. But it is piano talk tonight, so I do got to get that piano out because that's really what it's all about. We're going to just take that down to a 0. There we go. This is a soft, I just want it to be nice and soft. And I want you to be able to hear it a little bit. Anyways, I'm Benjamin James Magrdichian. Welcome to Piano Talk. We're still in the middle of a battle with Mr. Jutt here. We got a timer going on, so you just want to tap on that screen. You want to help me win this. If you want to help me win this. Oh, I see we've gotten up to over 1,000. I do really enjoy that, guys. Thanks for being here and thanks for being part of it. No matter where you are or who you are in the world right now, I could be entertaining you if you want to be entertained by me. And this live stream experience is going to be so much fun. Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate all the gifts. Keep coming into the room. Let's see if we can make this happen. I do appreciate everyone coming in and making it. Oh, good. We made it to 80% of the live goal. I do appreciate Ray, Sarita, Danita's in the room as well. I do appreciate you, Jamie Lynn. Thanks for coming in. Family reunion, indeed. 100%. There's a bunch of people on that screen. Thank you for those 85 roses. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for being part of it. Meowishly, thanks for also jumping in and saying, hey, Danny. And Lily saying, yes. Heck yeah, what's good, everyone? Of course, it's nice to see Danita Dorito in the room. It's nice to have Danny DeVito here. Thanks for being here. Double family reunion indeed. Sopa Fridge lovers are in the house. Thanks for being here, guys, and thanks for liking and loving the live stream experience as we have 1 minute left in this battle. We've got things really going on over here on the TikTok live stream, which is right in front of the YouTube live stream. But I'm here on YouTube and on TikTok tonight, so do feel free to interact in both environments or maybe one environment. You want me to give you a shout out, DJR, shout out to you. Thanks for being here. There is no song being sung right now, but we are still in the middle of a battle. We got 47 seconds left. Low-key missed everyone. It's only been like 2 days, Drew. But I could. Oh, wait, no, I don't know when the last time you were in here. But it does actually kind of feel like. Yeah, I've had to take a little more breaks so I had to sleep more. Because we've all been sacrificing sleep, apparently. No, it's just been the last couple of days. Anyways, it's been an interesting one. We're going to go over some great memories in a little while, where we're going to document what ended up happening at Disneyland in these last couple of days, which we were at a, after hours takeover event, which was really fun. I had a great time. And I see Joel is being mentioned. Nice, Lily. Joel, heartbreak, whatever. Joel, get up. Yes, Joel, get up. Yeah, we can now talk about that, but I don't always appreciate doing the spoilers for people. People might not have seen it yet, so you might want to be like pumping your brakes on it a little bit. Anyways, it's the internet. Look, we won. Yeah, I know, right? Remember me from last stream? Oh, Joel, it's nice to have you here, Joel Miller. We did it, man. That was a really good round. Thanks, guys, for supporting me. Look at that. We made it happen. Jamie Lynn, huge shout out to you. We are here. Ben, ref. Was it difficult to... Oh, did he leave? Joel Miller mentioned. Is Joel Miller on the YouTube stream? Yeah, he is. Bye, Joel, on from J Edits. Welcome to Piano Talk. We just did a battle with Mr. Jutt, and I didn't get to talk to him because I put him on mute. I should have talked to him a little bit, but I have a lot to say. Bye, Joel Miller. I'll see you next time. Thanks for being here. I can't play anything, really. I don't know how to play the piano. I play it therapeutically. You should play therapeutically, too. If you want to play the piano therapeutically, hopefully this is a live stream that inspires you to do it. If you're like, I don't know how to play the piano, just have fun. Where's the Spider-Man? I don't know. Where is the Spider-Man? Celise, hi to you. Jamie Lynn, great to have you back. Wait, Jamie, you left and then you came back in? It's great to have you here still. Anyways, thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for making it. Bro said to just doodle. Yeah, just doodle. Yeah, thanks for liking the live stream. Thanks for being here. Tap on that screen and share the live stream if you're watching here on TikTok. If you're watching here on YouTube, go ahead and give me that thumbs up, and you can also share it over here as well. I do try to interact with the chat to the best of my abilities, but it's hard every once in a while. I don't have a ukulele if that's what you're asking me over there on YouTube. I don't know if that's what someone asked me. Maybe someone asked me that. Maybe someone didn't ask me that. I thought it said that, but I could have just read what I wanted to read. Regardless, this is a live stream experience that I like to give you on a regular basis because I'm Benjamin James Magrdichian. This is basically just reality TV, and you're watching me here on YouTube or here on TikTok, and I don't really, plan these things out specifically. I just kind of go with the flow because it's reality TV. It really is, but it's more like interactive than anything else we've ever seen before because this is also the future of live streaming and making reality TV more of something that everyone just does instead of it being a couple of few people that are doing it, that you're watching their lives, or maybe a studio, or maybe some channel that you used to watch that you're like, oh, I thought that you could only really watch reality TV there. No, now it's everywhere because we have these phones as well. Anyway, it's a lot better this way. It's a lot more entertaining. Thanks for being here. Thanks for deciding to watch me. I do appreciate you being here. Do feel free to follow me on Instagram if you want to follow me on Instagram, YouTube, or on TikTok. Those are the platforms I live stream on and that I post on regularly. I don't live stream on Instagram that often, but when I do, well, I do it when I do it. Anyways, I'm here to entertain you. If you want to be entertained by me, you can go ahead and check the other posts I made today because I post videos regularly. I do like to make short form videos that you could potentially make as well. I'm trying to make it so then the internet's fun again for at least me and maybe you too. If you're looking for reasons to post things and you just kind of want to make bizarre videos, well, I challenge you. Go ahead and just make a video that shows you doing the same thing I did, and I got plenty of videos. So you can just go ahead and make a video of what it looks like when you're doing something that I've already done or something that you haven't done. You can also tag me. You can also have fun with me in the regards of social media type of interactions because it is that type of environment here on the interweb where I'm trying to interact with you. If you want to interact with me, how was your Easter been? My Easter was really good. Thanks for asking. Did I see Bambi? I did not see Bambi, Ray. I did not. Parking sheet. What, like we left pretty fast because we needed to get out of there. Anyways, Jamie Lynn, thanks for the heart. I do appreciate it. We're going to jump into some things in this live stream experience. It's not going to last that long. Regardless, we're going to shut this just for a second because it's actually more important that I show you this stuff. So we're going to be talking about going to California Adventure yesterday for the after hours event that was at 9 o'clock is when it officially started, and it went till like 1 a.m. But it was on April 21st, and I was one of the lucky people that got to go to this because my friend, one of my friends out there, he was actually the one that won the tickets. And it's like 5 tickets, so he decided to bring a couple of us. We've got friends out there, but these are the friends that were down to go to a Disney type of thing. And we actually were able to check California Adventure out because this contest basically creates an event for those that want to attend a late night after hours takeover type of thing where it's like, the park closes and it's just the contest winners that get to go into California Adventure. And it is actually a limited amount of people in the room, as in like the park isn't full. It's actually really nice, and they let everything operate so you can just kind of walk around and do whatever you want. And it's really fun, actually. It's a good time. The lines are not bad, so it does not get weird. And then when it comes to getting food and stuff, there was like customizable special dishes and platters that were available. And the Food and Wine Festival actually ended the day that we were there, which was really interesting. So this is the Food and Wine manual that they give out. It goes from February 28th to April 21st. In California Adventure, they have like a digital guide where you could scan the QR code. It said welcome. The experience has its, attractions, paid bookable experiences. Of course, there's going to be a lot of, this is actually the first time I'm looking at this. I just got this because I thought that it would be fun to read over, but then, when we were there, I really didn't want to read it. No. But it does look like a lot of the items that were in here would have been really fun to try, but it's just not going to be happening. Although some of the items I did end up trying, like this one right here, which was the garlic kiss sirloin mac and cheese, which was really good. I Tried that one and ate it in a live stream on TikTok, not here on YouTube, but we're just talking about it now because this is basically like, documentation. Mac and cheese witness. Yes, mac and cheese witnesses are very important. Just so you get a better view of that. That is what the dish actually looked like. Yeah, I know. It looks very delicious. It does. You see there's mac and cheese and then sirloin. So it's just very beefy. And then the other one I was able to try. Oh, wow. They even had like a festival map. See, now that's nice right there. That's their festival map for reference, so you could be able to look back at this. I know, my room's kind of messy in the background, too. Just because I have a lot of clothes hanging up. Anyways, let's just continue on. I do see people are saying things in the chat, and I don't know what people are saying. $9. Yes, $9, Sarah. It was a small bowl, but it was good. It was actually very nice. It worked for me. Now, I tried one other item. We're actually looking for that one real quick. Where did it go? Ah, here it is. So it's this one right here. Now, they served it on a plate, and it was delicious. I had a great time eating it. It had some chicken pieces. You have like a chicken wing, and then you had another part of the chicken, and it was very good as well. And I live streamed some of it, but I didn't live stream the entirety of it because I needed to reset up. I need to eat it to reset up to film The World of Color. Which, if you were watching my live stream on TikTok yesterday, I did maintain somewhat of a shot the entire time, but my group did really actually want to get a head start to getting on rides while the show is ending, and it's like last 5 minutes of the performance. So we started to make our way to the Incredicoaster. We'll get into that in a second. Regardless, we'll go through another Disneyland story here in my live stream experience, but this one's going to be documented here on YouTube for you to be able to rewatch whenever you want. But I don't normally tell those Disneyland stories too much, but this is another one for the books. Overall, it was a really interesting night, and it was a lot of fun. I'm just really tired from it still, so I'm not going to be live streaming for a long time tonight, so we're going to tell the story. That's basically going to be it. Regardless, it's only been 21 minutes. And this live stream's probably not going to last much longer than that. So, share the live stream. As soon as I'm done telling the story, I end the live stream. Whether or not I want to continue to play with the piano. I got to get myself a good night's rest and actually be as productive as possible tomorrow, because I didn't really get anything done on Monday because I just did all Disneyland stuff. We just ended up getting to Disneyland super early. Yes, there was a lot of really cool stuff in the oh man. The stuff I missed out on, it's okay. We're going to go through this first, which is the festival guide. I want to see if there's anything else. I did try 2 of the dishes, which were the ones that I wanted to try the most, but there were other ones as well, and I can see that, like, they really had it down with providing a lot of options for this festival of food and wine, and then they also had a lot of different... Oh, they had... I like the last page a lot. Just, all of their things that they'd like you to spend money in. The Vacation Club, Snickers, National Geographic. All of those wonderful, wonderful companies right there. Okay, so we've gone through the food and wine little booklet, and that's what we've already gone through so far. Anyways, if you're watching and you're just tuning in, this is just me, talking about my day at California Adventure yesterday, here documenting it on the interweb of YouTube and also here on TikTok. You can interact with me if you want to interact with me, or you could just watch if you want to watch. Something is making noises outside, and it's freaking me out. Oh, Sarah, that's sad. Are you home alone? Ray, what do you mean you hear it? So Ray is saying it's with you, Sarah, or I'm confused about that. Anyways, Cheyenne, thanks for being here. What are you kidding about, by the way? We're going to open up, not this one yet. We're going to open up the California Adventure Food and Wine map. This one is pretty good. This one's the February 20th to April 12th. And, you know, we've got things pretty much looking like this right now. This is also just me sharing the overall day we had was mainly in these areas. So I'm just going to show you guys on the map right here. Yeah, right? It's just nice to have a paper map. So we would enter in, of course, through right here. And what we did was we basically just cut it. So we went cut straight into Marvel World, our, you know, the Avengers campus. So we checked that out, and we spent a lot of time actually here just kind of like looking around because it's the newest part of the park. But we did that, and then we ended up spending time in the San Francisco Square area, you know, because that's actually really fun. There's a margarita place that you can go to around there. It's like my favorite place to go to. And I don't really like doing a lot of the drinking activities in the park, but the margaritas that are there are very tasty, and it's very fun. But, you know, you can only have so many of them because you'll get like a brain freeze and stuff. And that's definitely happened to me. Yeah, it's happened to me. Anyways, we're going to keep walking over here, right? And then we go this way. And then we basically just like walk in like this area. And we basically just make loops around here. We go to the aerial ride, which we went on, by the way. And we got stuck twice because like they stopped the ride. If you like pina coladas, I know, right, Sarah? If you like pina coladas, I'm assuming there's just some sort of side conversation. Good. It's nice to hear that you joined the Discord, Cheyenne. It's great to have you here. It is great to have a Discord environment as well. So if you're new here in the live chat on either TikTok or on YouTube, there is a Discord server that people can continue to talk to each other that watch my live streams. It's a place that you can go to that hopefully you feel safe and comfortable, and you can introduce yourself, and you can be in different conversations. You can share what movies you like. You can do whatever you want regardless or you can't do whatever you want, but you can do whatever you want within the perimeters of what we've established, which is a lot has been done. A lot has been done to make it really fun. And I really appreciate where it's starting to go. So all of you out there, do feel free to be part of it, and also give attention to those that are contributing the most to making that an organized, fun place for us to be able to hang out. Thanks to Nito for sharing the Discord link, but it wouldn't be as good without some people really contributing to it a lot. And you're going to go on there and you're going to realize who those people are. So I shouldn't have to say anything. I just want you to potentially say good job to people that maybe deserve it without me saying anything. Regardless, we'll do more shout-outs later. Let's get back to what's going on. So what's going on here is we're talking about the Disneyland Day that we had yesterday. But it wasn't really a Disneyland Day. It was a California Adventure Day. And it was part of the Woody Show's promotion where they ended up having like a contest that they were like, hey, we're giving away like 5 tickets every blah, 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 blah. For like a couple of months, they ended up giving these tickets away for people to be able to go to Disneyland, specifically California Adventure Disneyland. And the park was at like half capacity, not even. Every ride was like 10 minutes after after about 10 o'clock. Every ride was just like pretty much 10 minutes. So it was a really great experience. It was an experience that made it so then you could just kind of like do what you wanted to do. You don't feel pressured to get on rides. You just kind of walk around and can do whatever. And it's honestly a lot better to go to a theme park with that type of mentality rather than trying to rush from ride to ride, which is the usual hustle and bustle that I'm used to when it comes to going to theme parks, trying to make sure to get on as many rides as possible before the lines get really big. Hello, Sinclair. Nice to have you here. Nice to have you in the room. These are the events that make me miss working in radio. Well said. Anyways, we're here on YouTube and we're here on TikTok. We're just talking about being a California Adventure yesterday. I got the map open right here so you could be able to see it. And, we went to Cars Land and hung out around there. We ended up basically just staying within this part of the park. And we didn't really venture to this side or into the Monsters, Inc. area. But we went everywhere else, and it just kind of happened that way. It was honestly one of the most chill Disneyland days I've had. It ended not that chill, but we'll get into that in a little while. Regardless, we're not going to be too detailed on that, but we are still going to tell the story for what it is. So we get there like at 3 o'clock, and we're doing stuff in downtown Disney first, but we make our way into the park at 6, as the tickets did say. We could come into the park at 6 o'clock, so we end up going into the park at 6 o'clock, and there's still like regular people there and whatnot, and they haven't kicked people out yet for the event, but they give you a wristband and then you walk in. I filmed what it looked like when I walked in and checked into this event, so you can watch that video here on TikTok and here on YouTube whenever you want. If you're familiar with this event, it's the Woody Show does after hours takeover, and I just showed you guys like the map. I'm just leaving it open so you can keep looking at it a little bit, because we're going to just continue to talk about how this day went. The food was the best part and was honestly really legendary in some ways, as in there is some garlic macaroni and cheese I'll never think of the same way again. No, I will not. But also, I didn't read the fine print of everything that was going on at the Woody Show. So when I got this one, I didn't think to really like look at it. But I realized that the Woody Show actually made it so then you got like photo pass whenever you came in, which meant that the photographers that were like there, you could have just asked them to take a photo, and there was like a thing that's included, whereas they normally have to pay for photo pass, which is why I didn't like think anything of that, because I've been to the parks a lot, but it's nice to know that when there's a special event that they can have the photo pass be free for everybody, which actually that makes a lot of sense. I didn't really think about that. I didn't read this when we were like there. I got it and I just saved it, and I didn't really think about the fact that I needed to actually like read what was going on at this event. I just really thought it was going to be like not half capacity, and I went in with pretty low expectations. So I was really impressed, honestly. The Woody Show puts together a really nice time at Disney California Adventure, and you know, I'm sure Disney deserves some pat on the back as well, but we're going to give the attention and all the recognition to the Woody Show. That's right, the Woody Show. That's right, they did a great job, and I do appreciate them. And like, we could just give Disney all the recognition, but I really feel like they really figured it out. Ben, what's your dress? Where's your dress shirt? Oh, I'm trying. We're getting ready for bed. This is an end of the day live stream. This is called Piano Talk. I'm normally not dressed up for Piano Talk, but thanks for being here. I'm trying. It's nice to have you in the room. It's nice to see you coming back. If you're here on YouTube or on TikTok, it doesn't really matter. I'm still here to entertain you. Thanks, Sarah, for saying round of applause for the Woody Show. Thanks for being here, and thanks for doing that. I do appreciate you over here on the Tick of the Talk, saying things in the chat. If you're watching here on the YouTube, well, the YouTube just doesn't have the same chat window. Not the same people are in there. But Sarah's actually a moderator over here. So, you know, she can be in both places, both spaces. But she's saying it over in the other one. Can confirm Disney did the leg work for the event. Okay, most likely. Kind of. Yeah, I mean, you know, they just kind of took the bill, but there was photo spots that makes sense. So there's the character encounter photo opportunities. So these are all like, if we went to all of these, we would have had all these photos, and I didn't actually bring that into consideration. So I feel like it was a missed opportunity there. Also, you know, I'm not really seeing many of these photos on social media. So whoever's doing these things aren't really posting them all the time. Or maybe just not a lot of people follow those people. It doesn't really matter. Or maybe a lot of people do follow those people. Anyways, I didn't see anyone posting these photos, but maybe I didn't look hard enough, because I didn't actually look at all. Anyways, this is a live stream experience. I'm going to have to hold up to the things I say. So I'm trying not to lie. But I also trying to have fun talking, just saying things without thinking, because that's what we do here in this live stream experience. We try to make it entertaining for me. Anyways, let's keep going. So there was like a bunch of photo opportunities, and then it didn't really map out who all those people were, but they had the photo spots that you could go to that the photographers would be at. I didn't bring that into consideration. But then there was also little music venues that we could have went and listened to people perform in different little spaces, different little areas. And I didn't bring attention to that either. So yeah, that was interesting. I really feel like I should have. Well, we did do the World of Color, which was really the best part of the night, which we'll talk about that in a second. But now we need to bring attention to these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 numbers. That's referenced to the Food and Wine Festival, and each of those booths were a highlight of that night. So we did I did booths 4, 7, and I was going to do 8, but 8 ran out of all their stuff. So I did 4 and 7, and I was actually really impressed with the food that was there that night. We ended up hanging out in the San Francisco Square area. Some people got beers, not everyone, but some people got beers. And then over here, we ended up going on the California Soarin' ride. And then, we backtracked just to kind of walk around here. We almost went on the Spider-Man ride, but then we decided to go and eat. And then we were eating, and we ate at different places until World of Color started. And then World of Color started, and after World of Color was over, that's where the night gets a little interesting. Thanks for the heart me. Thanks for that, June. It's great to have you here. It's great to have you in the room. It's nice to have Lily here as well. And I see we've got people just hanging out and saying things. Chat time with the gang. Yeah, it's good to see you guys doing crosstalk, as I always do encourage. Keep talking to each other and having a good time in the chat. As I walk through the day, this is when we were a full group, by the way. The first half of the day, we weren't a full group. One of our party members was still at work and then had to meet up with us. And by the time they met up with us, we came back in, and I'm actually picking it up from there. Because when we were in the park earlier that day, the only thing we did was walk around and go on aerial. We were just getting a layout for the land. And I honestly hadn't been in the park for about 2 years, so I didn't really know what was going to be different. So I was just walking around too and filming videos and then taking photos. And that's basically that. Anyways, we ended up leaving to go get the other person in our party. We brought him back to the main gate. When we came in, we went up to the San Francisco Square and we looked around there. We got some things there. And we came down over here, and then we went on this ride here. And after we went on this ride over here, which was California Soarin', by the way, we go back up and we walk over here, and we're hanging out in the Avengers campus. Then we're like, hey, we want pickles, so we get those pickles. And that's like one of it was like it was like a pickle cart thing. It was like a pickle drink. I forgot what it was exactly. And then we start to kind of just do our own things. And I went to number 4 and I ate the garlic knots, and then everyone kind of just ended up meeting up with me anyways, but I was live streaming myself eat the garlic knots. After I did that and was done eating that, I was going over to number 7 right there, and that one, it was a great dish as well, where it was like a tortilla with some chicken, with some rice, with some nice spicy sauce, and I really enjoyed that. That was very delicious, very tasty. And then we went over to the World of Color, and we just kind of waited there for the show to start, and we started watching the World of Color, and I filmed most of it here on TikTok, but you can't rewatch it, but I might post some clips from it. But also, I was, just filming it with my hand. It wasn't the best of angles. Anyways, I see people are here hanging out and having a good time. I do appreciate you guys coming in. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the gifts, and thanks for the likes and the shares, guys. No, I just want to get through the story. I know, right? Someone's like, you're shaking a lot, and it looks like you got to go pee or something. No, I just want to get through the story. It's going to make me a little anxious. Regardless, I had a really fun day yesterday, but I'm still pretty tired from yesterday. And this live stream's not going to last much longer, so do share the live stream. Tap on that screen, and let's see how many likes we can get up to. I appreciate all the gifts and all the shares and all the attention and the crosstalk, not the Chris talk, and the crosstalk in the chat. I do appreciate creating an environment for you guys to be able to interact in, but also watch me share stories and whatnot. So this is basically documentation for, the long term of things. It's like my bachelor life right now. I'm just living my bachelor years, just documenting it here on YouTube for you to rewatch whenever you want, so you can go, oh, so that's how his Disneyland trip was the other day. Oh, that's interesting. But then you didn't see me live stream at all on this platform, YouTube, because I only live streamed on TikTok. But I live stream every day on one of the platforms. Regardless, I'll live stream pretty much every day for at least a little while. There's no need not to, as I do enjoy doing it, and I do like talking to myself. I'm gonna have to practice my voice anyway, so why not do it in a live stream experience where I can also talk to people on the interweb? I'm gonna have to do these things regardless, But normally I would be singing songs and be like kind of being more spontaneous with the words I'm saying. And most likely testing a whole bunch of different voices. And walking around the house with a lot of energy. Maybe it's not important right now. Because we're in the middle of a story. That's right, a story of what happened at California Adventure. So we're at the World of Color. We watched the World of Color. And then people started to verbalize that... What was that? Hold on. everything just fell. It wasn't like, so all of you fell down, and I just saved all of you because I had to pick you guys up. That was really weird, though. There is... hold on. I gotta move this. I see what's happening. Okay. This will happen again if I don't move this stuff up. It's pushing against each other, so that it will fall down again. I apologize. Thanks for tuning in and staying in the live stream experience. It is unpredictable at times, so thanks for being here on YouTube and on TikTok. And I need to actually fix this. But it is a setup that is simplified. So since I'm doing it the easiest of ways, it's not brace incredibly well, and it's still not. And I know what I'm doing, and it could happen again. But we're just going to let it be what it is. Don't worry. If you fall down, I'll pick you back up. Anyways, thanks for being here and being part of my live stream experience. I'm Benjamin James Magrdichian here on the interweb with you. If you're here with me and you just went through that whole technical difficulty we had, I do really appreciate you staying in for the long haul of it. And I guarantee it will be a lot of fun to watch the rest of this live stream. And you never know what'll happen, but definitely all of you fell down. That is what happened. It did happen. All these things just went forward, and all of you just kind of fell flat on your face. But I picked you all back up, and I'm here to continue to tell you a story of what happened to me at Disneyland with the group that I was with. I had to be there for a while to really soak in what Disney was laying down, as in actually the environment that was there. It was very overwhelming. It's just, there's a lot of energy to pick up over there. But we are continuing to do... Yes, go ahead, send me the therapy bill. I understand. Anyways, thanks for being here, guys, and being part of it. Hopefully you guys are enjoying each other's company as well as mine, and getting to know the other people that are in the room. Once again, I'm Benjamin James Magrdichian, and you're watching a live stream experience that's not limited to one space or one place. I'm on YouTube and I'm on TikTok at the same time. You can rewatch this here on YouTube whenever you want. You can't really rewatch it here on TikTok, but I do appreciate you being here. Thanks for being part of it. We're going to continue telling the Disneyland story. This one doesn't actually involve a girl this time. It just involves 5 guys that end up having to leave Disneyland. And it was quite an awkward situation. It was also really not the worst, but it was bad for one person. Anyways, Sarah, Rish, even though we've been separated for 7 years... Oh, Sarah's been separated for 7 years from someone? That's sad. Anyways, there's crosstalk most likely going on in the chat on TikTok, so do feel free to make a friend and chime in if you want. If you're getting confused at all and you just want to ask me some questions, go ahead and ask me some questions. The people that are doing crosstalk in the live chat will also help you figure out what those questions are too. They'll bring attention to those of you that are trying to talk to me as well. It is fun to be here, and it's fun to have you in the room no matter which one you're in. It don't matter. What matters is that you're here. So thanks for being part of it, and also check me out on Instagram as I am here on YouTube and on TikTok to entertain you when I can. And we're going to continue to go on with this story. So this is the after hours Woody show celebration that we were at, and they were playing actually music throughout the park. They were playing 98.7 as we were walking around the park, which was actually kind of cool, but also different than what I'm used to, because when you walk around the park, you actually just hear Disney music all the time, and that's just not what was happening, which also made it harder for me to film videos. There are times that I actually could not film a video because copyright reasons. So I like to film videos of myself doing things sometimes. But if it's an overpowering amount of sound in the background that is from copywritten material, I can't really do anything with the video, because the video then has the ability to be flagged for copyright. So that's true here on TikTok and on YouTube. So when you go into these public environments and the radio's playing, it doesn't necessarily mean, yes, that's a great environment for me to make videos and to post videos of me being here. No, it pretty much says it says the opposite. Yeah, I'm OMG 98.7. Yeah, I know. One of the last good radio stations in LA, low key, 100%. Totally agree with you, Donito, Dorito, Davida, Davides. I'd feel embarrassed if I was at Disney, not gonna lie. Why would you feel embarrassed if you were at Disney, Gabby? Just to interact with the chat a little bit before I tell the rest of the story. We're on the tail end of the story, and then it ends pretty fast. But it's still a story nonetheless. Sarah, have you been to Disneyland? Or are you just saying Disney is fun? You're too old for Disney, Gabby? How old are you? Like in your 80s? I'm 35. Are you just telling me I'm too old for it? Or are you older than me? I know, you really can't ever be too old for Disney. A 60-year-old is the one who built the park, so in my eyes, he tried to make it appealing to families. So I guess you could be too old if you're like single and you don't have kids. But if you ever have kids and grandkids, then you should always be willing to go to Disney and not feel weird about it. You want to go to Disney, you're never too old for fun. What time did you leave the park? Danita's laughing about something. I just got back from Disney on Saturday. Oh, that sounds great, Dr. Cucumber. I'm coming to California. Sarah, you're coming to California just to go to Disneyland. You're 26, but I don't like childish stuff. Oh, Gabby, so you wouldn't want to take a child to Disneyland? You don't like childish stuff, so you'd be like, oh, no, my little ones aren't going to be allowed to watch Barney because I don't like childish stuff. I'm just busting on you. It's fine. But yeah, childish is a mindset, by the way. And not all of it is childish, because there's characters that aren't children. They're like, oh, Bobo Gizmo's in the room. Nice to have you here, Bobo Gizmo. It's always nice to see you come back in. Bobo Gizmo, everyone give Bobo a shout out. If you're here on the TikTok, if you're on the YouTube, his name's Brandon. Anyways, we're live streaming on TikTok and on YouTube with live chats to our, disposal. If you do feel like interacting with people, if you feel like just watching me, that's cool too. But if you feel like interacting with a bunch of the people that are here, go ahead and be so friendly with them. Be so friendly with them. They come back on a regular basis. I appreciate them. I appreciate them, and I appreciate you for appreciating them. It's a live stream experience that does happen every night, so do feel free to come back. As I am here for you, you could be here for me. It is a live stream experience that isn't limited to one platform. I'm on YouTube and I'm on TikTok, so feel free to follow me here on YouTube, follow me here on TikTok. You can also check me out on Instagram. We're still telling the rest of this Disneyland story, as I am Benjamin James Magrdichian, do whatever I can in this live stream experience where it's just not very well structured. It's just me starting these cameras and talking. I got kind of thrown off when the cameras all fell down, so we're still recovering from that a little bit. These live streams do have their own elements in them that I never know what's going to happen. That happens a lot more than you think. Anyways, I'm here to entertain you. If you want to be entertained by me, this is a live stream experience that is well shared, in my opinion. Do feel free to share it. I do appreciate that. Also, feel free to interact, make a friend. Give a shout out to those moderators. The moderators here on TikTok are Mikey Milwaukee, Joe, Javier, Bobo Gizmo, Grant, that goes by the name on the follow Ben. We also got Juliet, Danita, Dorito, DeVito, DeVita. And we've got ourselves a Lizzie, Izzy, a Rem, and a Abby, a Banana Fan of Fabby. Ben, I was panicking when yesterday you were flying or something. I was flying. Oh, right. I did live stream a little bit when I was in California Screaming. That was really fun. All right, I got to tell that part of the story too. Acid reflux is acting up. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Dude, I will never have children. Even I sold all my... You'd never have children? Yeah, I was on California Soaring, and it was really fun. Anyways, let's go back to the story. Well, you know what we need? Water. Maybe pajamas? No, I could sleep in this. Oh, this is what I worked out in. Should wash my sheets tomorrow. Which reminds me, tomorrow I'll be doing a live stream where I cook and eat dinner. Well, I cook in this one. But I'll eat dinner later too. Anyways, today we didn't do that. That's why I'm mentioning it. But I'm Benjamin James Magrdichian. I live stream daily. Normally I try to have multiple live stream experiences. This is Piano Talk, which normally happens at the end of every night. I'm here for you. If you're here for me, let's continue to tell a Disneyland story that happened yesterday. This is the documentation of April 21st, Disneyland trip to California Adventure, where I went to the After Hours event. So it was like an after hours takeover by the Woody Allen. I did not mean to make that. The Woody Show. So it's the Woody Show on 98.7 that gets a good portion of the park cleared out for you, and it is actually really nice. They had a special presentation of the World of Color, which was actually really great. It's like a 30-minute show, and it's definitely worth it. I do recommend it. we do have, like some details that we were able to learn later on, but it's all in the past now. If I ever get to go again, I totally know better. But when they actually do these events, I wasn't sure what I was walking into, but it is actually a great experience. They really do actually have it be a limited attendance. So the park is actually pretty empty, and it's really fun to walk around and then try all of the booths of different foods and wines that are out there, because they have a food and wine festival and different like tasty drinks and whatnot. I didn't really do much with the indulging of the drinks. I did get myself one of them tasty margaritas early on, but I'm not really huge on the drinking of the food and wine festival, where they had like specialty drinks at each one where you can get different alcoholic beverages, is why I mention it. And my people I was with, they were enjoying the different ones, varying between them, not trying every single one of them, but they were just going to different ones and trying different ones. And apparently they had some really great drinks. Everyone had a really good experience with trying the different foods and the drinks. I tried the foods and basically one drink, which was the margarita. Hey, you know what you like, you know what you like. And if you don't like to drink a lot, it's not that big of a deal. So don't you make yourself try all those drinks. Don't you feel that peer pressure. Honestly, the food is really great. Anyways, when it comes down to what we were doing, when we walked into the park at the beginning of the night, I've already said this, but I'm going to say it again for those of you that are just tuning in. When we walked in at the beginning of the night, which was at 6 p.m., we made our way to the San Francisco Square. And then we also went on the aerial ride. Then we left the park and we got one of my friends who was showing up just a little bit later because they had to finish up at work, and then we brought him in. And then what we did was we went back to the San Francisco Square. Then we went on California Screamin', where I live streamed for a little while here on TikTok, not here on YouTube, but here on TikTok. I live streamed in there for a little while, just the ride experience. I just put it in my vest pocket, which is really fun to do. I don't know if you're allowed to do that, but I did it anyways. I mean, I've seen people do it before, and it's weird to me that you can do that, but you really don't get the same experience as being there. It's one of the best rides. It is so much fun to go on, and it smells so great in there because they do the orange fields. Like they like, it's just, they throw scents at you, and there's wind, and you can see all of California, and a very outdated image of Disneyland, which you totally know they need to update that video. That video is old. Anyways, they'll do it later. I'm sure they will. One day. Anyways, we did talk about what rides we were going to go on, but we were going to go on most of the rides in like the last hour of the park's operation, thinking that like maybe there wouldn't be that many people. Yeah, I mean, California Adventure's good. It's the only one that, like, I feel like you can do everything in one day, but that's not the point. We come back in, we go over here, then we go on the Soarin'. I do some live streaming. Then we get out of there and we get pickles. A bunch of people get pickle drinks. And, then we just kind of separate. And everyone kind of just does their own thing for a little while. And I did some other things too, but I find myself at 4, the garlic kiss area, and I got myself some macaroni and cheese, which was really good with some sirloin in it, and it was delicious. I do highly recommend it. And then we go on over to number 7, where I ended up getting another dish that had, like a kind of taco-ish type of feeling, where it had some chicken, some rice. And then we watched The World of Color, which was once again amazing, and had a ton of different really great clips from different movies that also integrated the use of water and fire and lights and color and projections, which was really great. Honestly, very beautiful. You kind of feel the water as it goes on, but then you also feel the flames too. So it's a little bit of both things going on. And then after we were done with The World of Color, we make our way to the Incredicoaster. So we go on the Incredicoaster. And this is where the night gets a little weird. So we've only really gone on 3 rides so far. And really, honestly, we were just having a lot more fun walking around the park, looking at stuff. And we were going to try to just go on as many rides as we could before we ran out of energy or whatever. And then we would go home or ran out of time. But we did notice that most of the lines were really short. So kind of felt like we could go on everything, but we wanted to get like the rides out of the way that looked like they would get the longest lines and take advantage of those short lines while they were short. So we rushed to get on this ride, and we maybe rushed a little too fast. With one of my friends, did not verbalize that they've only been on like 2 other roller coasters in their life. Yeah, I know. They don't really like roller coasters, so you kind of see where this is going. And they, you know, have been like holding it back that they don't like roller coasters, so we didn't know, but we picked it to be next, and like they just like didn't want to be against what the party was doing or something, but they went on the roller coaster with us. So we're not going to be naming anybody, but we go on this roller coaster, and it's a good roller coaster. The Incredicoaster is, but it does have a loop, and it does have select two objects that are the same. You want me to confirm I'm not a robot? Got it. Okay, thanks TikTok for checking. Anyways, the Incredicoaster can be intense too for people who don't do roller coasters. It's way too intense because it does have a loop. So they blacked out a little bit on the ride, apparently, where the G-force was. At the end of it, it can go around a couple of times in a circle. And they didn't like black out, but they got like lightheaded. And then we get to the end of the ride, and everyone's like, yeah, we did it. All right, let's get on the next ride. We're all trying to get out really fast to go to the next thing. And he gets up to get out of the ride, and he just like trips over getting out of the car. He doesn't get hurt on the ride. He gets hurt getting off the ride. And he hit the pavement pretty hard. And there was a little bit of blood and a little bit of a commotion here and there, as in we helped him up. And we thought it was going to be fine, so most of us were already just like walking out. But apparently, if you get hurt on a Disneyland ride, they need to like kind of like assess the situation, and they have protocols. So he was bleeding, so they have protocols for that. And he had to get up, and they wanted to make sure that he was fine. And he has a speech impediment. So he just kind of sounded like he wasn't fine. But we eventually got that cleared up. But it didn't help the situation at all, because they didn't know what was going on. They needed they needed the nurse to come out to assess the situation. I'm kind of a controlling, yeah, I know, right? I'm kind of controlling when it comes to keeping the group moving and keeping the group together. So I wanted to assess the situation. So I decided we were going to take him to the bathroom, and we were just going to kind of like try to figure out what to do as a group on our own. And then I really appreciated the staff like showing that they cared and whatnot, but they're like, well, we really should have the medic look. And I was like, no, we're really going to take him to the bathroom, and we're going to assess the situation. So we take him to the bathroom. It wasn't good. We needed to take him to first aid, but I was going to take him to first aid. But then when we leave the bathroom, the first aid person's there, and the ride operator's there with the first aid. And there's one of the security guards that also came around to assess the situation as well. And, Disney's very professional about dealing with things. They really want to stay to the book. They want to make sure that people are safe in the park. They also want to make sure you're not too rowdy, and that, your party might not be disruptive or harmful to each other's well-being or whatnot. Anyways, we're at this part of the park right now. So this is at 11:32. I have pictures up until 11:32. So at 11:32, I stopped taking photos. So at 11:32 p.m., and basically stop making videos, which I was making a bunch of videos, which be sure to follow me and come back on another day to watch more videos of me in California Adventure, as I did make quite a bit of videos. I do also have a bunch of photos, but I posted the photos I wanted to post on Instagram, and now it's just going to be a lot of fun videos that will be posted throughout the next couple of weeks, maybe a couple months from now. I don't know. Regardless, do feel free to give me a follow and come back to watch some California Adventure videos of me at the park after hours and whatnot. So, you can come back and kind of relive it with me and see what it looks like. Anyways, we're at this part, and I took them to the bathroom over by the Pickstar Pier, which is behind the carousel, which I really wanted to go on the carousel. Even though the carousel is for kids, there's a lot less people in the park, and it just looked like there's no one really on it. But I just had to watch the carousel go around. As I was also thinking to myself, yeah, we're definitely gonna have to leave because my friend was hurt, so we knew what was going on. We were just trying to figure out what was going on overall, but we also felt like the Disney's good at showing up. But there was a lot of people that were around us, and it didn't need to be that many people. A bunch of security guards ended up showing up. The paramedics ended up showing up. The nurse ended up showing up. Well, the nurse was already there, but it was like, the park's really big, and I was like, our group is not like a rowdy group. We were just kind of sitting down waiting for a verdict on what the nurse was going to say, if he needed stitches or not. He was bleeding a lot, so it looked like he needed stitches. But when we reassessed the situation, we honestly weren't sure how bad it was, because my friend was also in the mood of, like, hey, we got to keep going with things. So he's like, I'm fine, let's just keep going. But we really couldn't do that because, like, he was bleeding a lot. We've already, like, been in the park for hours. It's not like we didn't get our, entertainment. Like, we were all in, like, I just wanted to watch World of Color. I'd been to California Adventure a ton of times. I've been on all the rides. Everyone had like a ride they wanted to go on. Basically, everyone just wanted to go on Guardians of the Galaxy, which we didn't end up doing, but we did end up doing other things. Hey, Miss Woods X, nice to have you here. Thanks for being here, and thanks for calling me handsome. It's nice to have you in the room. Thanks for being part of it. Be right back, then a follow. Thanks for the follow. I do appreciate you being here and being part of it. Thanks for all the likes, guys. Thanks for the shares. We're here on YouTube, here on TikTok as I tell the story. We're over by the bathrooms at Pixar right now. I'm just holding up the map just to kind of keep myself focused if I can. The live stream isn't going to last for that much longer. I'm just telling you stories, and then we're going to end it. Regardless, we're still in the middle of things here in this live stream experiences. I'm telling the end of the story, and my friend actually was coherent. He was not incoherent. He just had a speech impediment, so it didn't sound good all the time. But it's a medical thing, so like he's no control over it. It's not like something he could just shut off. And I know it discredited him to some degree, and they could say it didn't, but the reality is it did, because it does. So, that's just how it is. Plus, he had a huge gash on his head, and, he had margaritas with me earlier. So, like, he at least had one drink, but he wasn't, like, completely lost. He wasn't gone. But he was having a good time and just, like, lost his ability to really... When he got out of the roller coasters, since he's not someone that goes on roller coasters very often, it put him in an even worse state. So if you think about it this way, he doesn't go on roller coasters. He's not used to that type of speed and then getting off the ride, and he can get discombobulated, because really when it comes down to it, when you get off of a ride, you get a little... if you're not used to being on roller coasters, you get lightheaded, you get a little like out of it, and you're not necessarily in the best mood to, like... be able to... I just saw the Jimmy Kimmel thing. Oh, it's so nice. Thanks for saying it's hilarious. I do appreciate your compliment. Cheyenne, it's nice to have you here. Thanks for saying that on TikTok. I do appreciate you looking at the videos that there are of me out there on the internet, especially me in the Jimmy Kimmel clip. If you haven't seen that before and you're watching either on YouTube or on TikTok, do take some time to check out the clip of me in the September 18th episode of 2024, where I end up being a studio audience participant in a dating video that was made to promote me in my dating life, because I'm in my bachelor years, and they're like, hey, you'd be a great guy to make a dating video with, because you have so many quirky things about you. So they basically just came over and filmed me in my house, and that guy's just like, oh, hey, and here's all the stuff I have, and then John Hamm narrates to that. It's a funny video. Go check it out. Anyways, thanks for being here and being part of it. There's other entertainment of me out there on the interwebs, so do feel free to look me up in other places, other spaces, and you can watch me do other things, and you can also watch me on the Kimmel Show as a guest in a segment that is actually really delightful to be part of. I do appreciate being in it, and it is something that was really fun. And John Hamm was a really nice guy to meet, and so was Jimmy Kimmel. So I did appreciate my time on the show, and I appreciated my time working with the entire crew. Great respect and love to all of them. They always do a great job. But back to my story. Oh, they also made a mention to one of my Disneyland stories in that segment. So I have lots of Disneyland stories, but this one tonight is actually pretty much wrapping up. We're at the part to where we're trying to actually leave. So here's what was going to happen. Whether security was helping us or not, my friend is definitely hurt, and we need to probably get him stitches. We just need to listen to a nurse to tell us what to do. But the security's there as well, because the security's like, how many drinks has he had, blah, blah, blah. Once again, speech impediment. Doesn't like going on roller coasters. Went on a roller coaster out of peer pressure. Got off that roller coaster, was not necessarily in the best state of mind or in the best mentality / physicality to be able to just recuperate after being on a roller coaster, because he doesn't like roller coasters. And I don't know why he went on I don't know why he didn't tell me. There were so many other options that we could have gone on, and I don't understand why he didn't. I was kind of leading the party. So at the end of the day, I brought us to the ride. So he could have verbalized that he didn't want to go on a roller coaster, and I would have just gone to Toy Story Mania, the next option, which was right there. We just needed to start at the back of the park, and the idea was we did World of Color, we'd start back here, and we'd just loop around and go on every ride until we got all the way to Guardians of the Galaxy. And if we were starting to run out of time, we'd just skip rides. But the whole idea was to start here, go this way, come around, go to Cars Land, do the Cars Land thing, go to Guardians of the Galaxy, and then if there was time, we'd do the Web Slingers. Because I've gone on the Web Slingers Spider-Man ride, and I actually don't fully recommend it. I know. Disney isn't paying for me to do this, story, so I'm going to be pretty critical on how I feel about California Adventure. If you guys really want to know how I feel about this Web Slingers ride, it's kind of not as good as I wanted it to be. I feel like I just built it up too much, maybe. It's probably a fine ride. You probably really love it. It's nice to see people are here. Thanks for being part of it. I love when his hair is crazy looking. Oh, thanks for saying that, Audie. It's nice to have you here. We're going to continue on with the story in just a second here on YouTube and on TikTok. He was probably worried y'all really wanted to go on it and didn't want to. Cheyenne, thanks for saying that. Yeah, he did actually verbalize that later at the next half of the story. So I didn't know about the roller coaster thing until way later, because the night was really long. Anyways, it's 11:30 p.m. The park's open for another hour and a half, and there's no one there. So I looked at my app, and I saw that everything had really low wait lines. So we were gonna go on pretty much everything. It felt like. The Spider-Man ride is lame, Dr. Cucumber. Thank you for saying that too. It really was a letdown. But the Guardians of the Galaxy ride and the Avenger Campus area is totally worth it. I recommend that ride to anybody out there that wants to go on something like that. It's a really fun ride. I do really recommend it. When it comes to the Cars Land, I also recommend the Cars ride as well, and Toy Story. Toy Story Mania, the Cars ride, and Guardians of the Galaxy are my go-tos here in California Adventure on this side of the map. On this side of the map, the Soarin' over California is actually really worth it too. So there's really 4 rides I always try to go on. And I went on most of the rides that I really like going on. I even really like the aerial ride. I've been to this park so many times. My nieces and nephews used to love. Toy Story Mania is super fun, and it is great. We were in the hospital for about 4 hours. Lily. Anyways, we're not there yet. No, let's not jump ahead in the story, but thanks for asking, Lily. It is nice to see people are here on both Disney being... What? Oh, I can't really read that, but I do appreciate you being here over there on YouTube. Thanks for being in the chat. Once again, the live chat isn't going to be something we're going to be able to remember, as in it's not uploaded for you to reread any of the stuff that happens in the live chat here on the YouTube. So do feel free to rewatch the live stream, and you can also comment things in the comments on the uploaded video that will be here on YouTube for you to be able to rewatch. That's right. This YouTube live stream is going to be uploaded for you to be able to rewatch whenever you want. If you're here on TikTok, you can only watch it this one time here on TikTok. But you can go over to YouTube, follow me there, and you can rewatch the live stream over there. Anyways, we're here in this part of the park over by the bathrooms, and we've assessed the situation as a group. he took too hard of a fall. He was bleeding too much. The wound was too big. We needed to take him to the nurse. See, what ended up happening was when he got hurt, they kept telling us that the nurse was going to show up to check the situation, but like 10 minutes went by and no nurse had shown up yet. And my friend was still bleeding, so I needed to get him cleaned up. So we needed to take him to the bathroom. So we took him to the bathroom. And, he rode by himself on that one too. So no one was sitting next to him. When he got up and got out, a couple of friends were sitting behind him and were there to I was sitting in front, but I was already moving the group along, trying to get us to the next ride by getting out and being at the end of the stairway to make sure that everyone just kind of met up with me before we walked even further. When not everyone showed up, that's when I went back to the platform and kind of found out some things. I didn't see my friend fall. No, I heard him fall, but I didn't see it. I saw him on the ground, but he was picked up and taken to the side where the ride operator was standing next to him, and he had some stitches. He didn't have some stitches. He had a pretty bad wound, but he had blood running down his neck, and he was just standing there. They didn't give him anything to wipe himself off with because, the nurse has to come by to do anything like that. So he's just sitting there with blood. And like 10 minutes had gone by and the nurse hadn't showed up yet. And, I understand the nurse has to walk all the way from the nurse's station, which is at the front of the park, which is also like, why not have two, especially one by the roller coasters? Anyways, that's not important. She's, taking a little while. She probably has to pack a bag to go over to where someone got hurt. Maybe someone else was hurt somewhere else in the park. How many people were in your group? 5 people, Dr. Cucumber. But this, this was a situation where also he was kind of incoherent a little bit because he had a speech impediment, but that didn't mean he was incoherent. It just means they had to listen harder to him talk because he has a speech impediment. He wasn't slurring his words or anything. It's just how he talks. Anyways, we take him after like 10 minutes. I'm just like, all right, I just tell her, I'm like, we're just going to take him to the bathroom and clean him up. And we're going to figure out what to do as a group. And we'll probably I really appreciate you helping and whatnot. And she said that for protocol, we really need to let the nurse. And I was like, I understand, but I just kind of could be a little controlling, I guess, or just I'm determined to let the group be the group. And if you're not in our group, even if you're staff or something, I need to kind of meet with the people I'm with and also conjugate them to a different area to assess the situation. So we're not talking with outside voices involved. She could be saying, she's a nice person. I'm not saying she was saying anything bad. I just really needed to get my group to go to a different part of the park. So I took them to the bathroom, like anyone else would in my, I guess protective. Well said, Danita. So anyone else in my position would have done the same thing. If there was a girl in the group, the girls would have gone into, we probably would have still, I just would have still probably taken them into the boys' room. Doesn't really matter. When it comes down to people being kind of hurt and you have a group, can be if you have all 5 people together, just kind of go to a mirror and just need to kind of be together just for a second. So, we're figuring this out, and we came to the conclusion that we needed to go to the nurse and see how bad this was because we couldn't clean it up and we couldn't bandage it up and get the bleeding to stop in the bathroom. So we need to take him to the nurse. We could have figured that out 10 minutes earlier, and I guarantee you less blood would have been spilled. So he was definitely still bleeding. So he needed to go to the bathroom right away. That's my bad too. Anyways, we take him to the bathroom. We assess the situation. We take him out of the bathroom. The nurse is there. The ride operator's there. The nurse and one security guard. And the nurse starts helping and cleaning him up. And then just a little bit of time passes, and all of a sudden there's like 6 or 7 security guards, another ride operator, and they're just all kind of standing there trying to get an idea of what's going on. And we're just standing in the bathroom area over here, right behind the carousel, in the Pixar Pier area. And they like shut down part of the walkway and told people they had to walk around to get to the bathroom, which I was like, oh, we're those guys now. And it was kind of like a heavy sigh situation where I was like, this isn't that bad. Plus, it would have been much better to just walk him all the way to the nurse's station first. But that apparently wasn't even an option, which I think was a little controlling on their part. I understand they have liabilities and whatnot, but people are people, and I think it would have been a lot more comfortable for him to walk to the nurse's station, because that's what the nurse's station is for. There's like a place to sit and everything, and it's easier for paramedics to get there if the paramedics are called. It just makes sense in general. And I could have taken him there straight away, but it just seemed like they wanted to deal with it wherever he was. But I just needed him to also lay down or sit down. But instead, it's just out in the open where everyone can see him. And I just kind of felt like it was a little unnecessary. I've been to Disneyland so many times, and I wasn't disappointed in the way they were like dealing with it. I just wasn't necessarily in agreement with the way that they were allowing, I said I was taking him to the nurse's station, even though the nurse was there. I think it would have made a lot more sense for me to just take him straight there. And the security guards just kept coming, and I didn't really understand that. I just kind of felt like none of them had anything to do. They're also just not talking. They're just standing there, not talking. And we weren't a rowdy group. No. We were pretty calm guys. We were just standing there being like, hey, how's our friend? Can you tell us how our friend is? Does he need stitches? We're trying to talk to the nurse. The security guards are talking to us, taking our information down too, trying to make sure and get a good idea of what happened in the story. Whereas they were putting way too much emphasis on trying to get an idea of what the story was. It just really seemed like they were trying to say, your friend is just not going to be able to stay in the park. But I just don't feel like they understood what was going on sometimes. It's like, hey, he's hurt. We got to really figure out what we're doing here, not just label him as an intoxicated risk and treat him like a person. I just disagree a little bit with how they were doing things, but it's okay. I mean, to be honest, they're a company trying to protect themselves. Look at me trying to defend them too. And honestly, we live in a world where lawsuits are all over the place. So it is important for them to protect their own liability. And that is what was happening there. And I even made a joke about it while we were there. And they were like, yeah, I know, right? Go ahead and sue us. And he laughed about that. And I thought it was like, yeah, okay, good, whatever. Yeah, I mean, but he really, my friend who got hurt was really frustrated with talking to security. They weren't. And I overheard some of it. I understand. He was getting a different angle. They really I just don't think they really fully understood that he had a speech impediment at first, and that he wasn't slurring his words or anything. He just has a speech impediment. It's a disability and it's an inconvenience, but it's suspicious too at the same time. So I can totally see that, which is sad. And that's a hard thing to be able to try to figure out, is this natural? Is this not natural for the person to talk like this when you don't know the person at all and don't know if they have that type of disability? But he had it. So there was some weird stuff right there that I don't really want to pick a side, because also at the same time, I don't want to be banned from going to Disney or anything. We were trying to abide by all the rules, but I kind of felt like they were telling us that we really needed to leave. And really, in reality, I just wanted to leave anyways, but I needed to know how bad my friend was hurt. My friend was hurt to the point to where it looked like, we were pretty much done for the night, regardless if security told us that we needed to leave. We probably would have bought things. We probably, if security wasn't so forceful with leaving because of the injury that took place, which I've gotten hurt at Disneyland before, and I've seen other people get hurt and stay in the park. It's just sometimes, security also can just deem you as a risk. And that's what they did also with him as well, because he hurt himself really intensively with some, stitches that were definitely necessary, but they couldn't perform any of that there. The paramedics couldn't do much when they were called, and the paramedics were suggesting that he get on an ambulance ride. But the thing is, those are expensive. So it's a really big bill. It's really expensive. So when paramedics are like suggesting you do that, and it doesn't really feel like they need to be doing it, honestly, it kind of feels like a con. I'm just going to say it. The paramedics, they didn't seem much better. They seemed like they were like trying to be the healthcare workers that were taking the big bucks, I guess. Like, I don't think they were thinking about it from a perspective of expenses for the other person. I was the designated driver. I was in perfect condition. I had a margarita at like 6 p.m., like 4 hours before that. And I'd eaten and dranken a whole bunch of things prior to my friend getting hurt. So I was more than capable and more than ready to take everyone home. I was also tired, so I was also ready to go home. I've been to Disneyland a lot. I didn't really actually need to say. We were going to go on many rides as everyone wanted to go on, and then I was going to go home with everybody. But that's not the point. Regardless, we made it through like the entire day. This is the last part of the day, and security was, really honest. They even like stopped selling alcohol, so that wasn't even an option. He couldn't even keep drinking. He just could drink water and eat things and buy stuff in the park and then eat things. I just would have tried to get him to eat some stuff, take him to potentially get stitches if that's what the nurse said he needed, which the nurse did say he needed it before the paramedics showed up. The paramedics then showed up. The paramedics then were like, hey, get on this gurney or whatever the thing is, and we're going to take you to the hospital. And he refused to go to the hospital, and he can do that. But also at the same time, they needed to know someone was going to take him to the hospital. And I was like, of course I'm going to take him to the hospital, but it's not going to cost nearly as much as an ambulance ride that is absolutely unnecessary to take in an economy that doesn't even work anymore, with a healthcare system that's incredibly broken. Why are you even suggesting for the ambulance to be an option if you know that he has an alternative option, which is not going to bankrupt a person, which I honestly think that the paramedics need to be looking out for people. The paramedics never even talked to me. The Disney staff did. But the paramedics never checked to see if I was fine to drive him home. And the Disney staff was like, you're the designated driver, so you're fine, right? And I was like, yes, I'm fine. But the paramedics that were there, they didn't even talk to any of us. I kind of felt like the paramedics had their own agenda as well, which was kind of weird. It's like Disneyland wants to make a lot of money off of people being there, but then also the paramedics come in and they're like, well, we really got to make a lot of money from also like taking people to the hospital and then giving them these hospital bills. What is up with that? I'm honestly kind of upset about that. There was a whole bunch of things that happened. That's also why, as soon as all of this was over, and they were like, okay, you're going to be able to take him to the hospital. You need to get your car. And they were like, go get your car and drive up to California Adventure, and we'll have him out there ready to be put into a car, and you can just drive him to the nearest hospital. They gave me a map of the nearest hospitals, and I didn't go to any of those hospitals. I took him to his hospital, and the hospital of Pasadena, which is, the Huntington Hospital. That's right. Let's give a shout out to the Huntington Hospital. If you're in an emergency, or if you have any sort of injury and you need to go check that injury out, the Huntington Hospital is the place to do that. Honestly, it was very fast. They were very professional. They were very nice. And the security check for the hospital was much more thorough and way more intense than the security check for Disneyland, which kind of makes more sense at the end of the day. But the security check was like a lot more, like they were on top of it. And they were having a really good time. They were nice people. Anyways, hospital shout out indeed here on YouTube, hidden here on TikTok. Feel free to say it in the comments if you're rewatching it here on YouTube. Feel free to say it in the comments if you're just here live on the TikTok. Anyways, we were over here, and they told me I needed to leave. So that we needed to leave, and I could go get my car. And, at first they were saying they were going to help us get him to my car. That's what the security actually first said. The security first told me that they would help me get him to my car. And then they backtracked on that. And then they said that I had to get my car to the California Adventure entrance, which I understood. But I was also like thinking to myself, I was a little like, why even like 10 minutes earlier, you just told me how you guys would help me get him to my car, and you wanted to know where I parked in the parking structure, and I knew exactly where I parked, and I told him exactly where we were, and he was like, good, 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 we can get you guys over there. And then it was like, actually, you need to go get your car and pull up to this area, and then we'll like you'll be able to be loaded in there. Natalia? Nobody tell Natalia what? Yeah, I know. They need to be a little more organized. The guy that helped us, though, was actually really nice for the most part to me. But I talked as little as I could. And I was just very like, I don't like talking to the security that's there. Well, except for when it's just fun conversations. But in a situation like this, I was confused and I was defensive for my friend, so I was also trying to keep my mouth shut so I didn't get us in any more trouble. But, just so it's documented here on YouTube and on TikTok for future reference. But anyways, we're over here for the end of the park. My friends, they go this way and they do a backstage thing where they go behind to get over to right here. And then they're waiting over here for me. And I have to walk from right here all the way down here, all the way to a parking structure. So I start my little walk, and I filmed a bunch of videos on the way, but I didn't like to, I couldn't stop. I needed to like do things, but I filmed some more videos of me just walking through California Adventure late at night, and I'll post those later too. But those ones actually are made in a completely different mindset, which I watched some of them. They're not that good, but I'll still end up posting them anyways. Maybe here on TikTok as exclusive content. You just wanted your homie to be okay. I understand. Yeah. I also didn't like the fact that they were telling us kind of different things. They did tell us what the protocols were. I understood. You can refuse medical attention if that's something you want. You can come into Disneyland with a gashing wound, and they can't really do anything. But if you like get hurt on premises, there is a protocol to that to some degree. But he took full responsibility, and in the moment, he said he tripped. He didn't say that it was anything that had to do with it doesn't really matter, I guess, because liability is liability. But he did trip, and he did say that it was his fault. But they didn't really like care about any of that. I felt like they were just like filling the air with us like being there, that they kind of thought that maybe we were a little more rambunctious than we actually were. But I think they started to realize that we were just some guys that, were actually just having a lot of fun eating food and trying the different menu items they had, and some were drinking while doing that. And honestly, if you're eating and drinking at the same time, it usually balances each other out. The only difference was my friend went on a roller coaster and normally did not go on roller coasters, and it made him discombobulated to the point to where he just had a hard time walking after getting off of the ride. And then the speech impediment mixed with that, and then he falls down. But the way he was treated overall, I'd have to say, he wasn't necessarily 100% sober, but he wasn't at his worst. He was loud, but he is like that. So what are you going to do? Anyways, there's a lot of people out there in the world, so, he's not the most perfect guy, but neither am I. And most people aren't either. There might be one or two people out there that are perfect. And I do appreciate you being here. If you're perfect and you're watching this live stream, thanks for watching my live stream. I do hope you're enjoying yourself. You're delaying your after gym shower. How is my friend doing now? He feels silly, and he feels like he ruined the trip for all of us, but I have to keep reminding him that it did happen at the end. So if you are to have someone get hurt in your group at Disneyland or California Adventure, it is best that it happens at the end of the trip. The only thing that just didn't happen was I wanted to do a couple more photo ops of us as a group, and maybe a couple more rides of us in different places with a couple of characters, and that was just going to be it. Shout out to Jesus Indeed. Thanks for being here, Meow Ashley, and thanks for giving that shout out. Hey, Ben, from Sophia, Sophia, hello to you as well. Thanks for being here and being part of it. It's nice to have you in the room. It was just an accident. He shouldn't feel bad. Lily, 100%. But the way he was treated in Disneyland, they brought way too much attention to him, and it made him feel like he was like doing something insanely wrong. Whenever security bundles. See, that's the thing that confuses me about Disneyland or California Adventure. They have a lot of cameras. They have a lot of security, and security doesn't necessarily need to be crowding around to create that type of vibe that someone could basically feel like they've really caused a ruckus. They do not need to mobilize to a degree that they're a small army ready to just take down whoever is like there. If there was a violent person or a person that was being really, really outlandish, then yeah, maybe. But my friend was just bleeding. He's just hurt. That's it. He was hurt. And we were trying to assess the situation. We weren't trying to do anything bad. He wasn't trying to do anything bad. He was trying to have a good time. But I do feel like the Walt Disney staff is just really mindful, because there's also kids present. But this is also a special event. But he ended up feeling pretty bad. And I'd have to say the ride operator was super nice to him. The nurse, super nice to him. The security guards, they wanted him to admit that he was drinking too much, which I don't think he had. But he had a speech impediment, and they've kind of been concerned about him or something. He was just gonna calm down for the rest of the night. There was no ability for him to continue to buy alcohol because that's over at that point in time. He was just rides from then on out, and rides and buying things. And here's what would have happened. If we went to the bathroom and I checked the situation, we already came to the conclusion that we needed to take him to the nurse. And the nurse was right here at the front of the park. Right there. And we were over here. All the way over here. So I would have taken him all the way down here. But while we were doing that, we would have passed by some things and whatnot, as in this area, where we could have potentially also got him some other snacks to eat. They had little vendor charts and whatnot. And we could have gotten him a couple things to eat. We could have also all gotten a little bit more to eat, and candy, which is what I really wanted. I really wanted to get candy. I knew it was going to happen in this live stream where I ended up saying it. I had one of my friends who was sitting next to me when we were addressing the situation, and we were like, oh, he's hurt. We really need to take him to first aid, and then we probably need to go home. And when that was said, the first thing that came out of my mouth was, does this mean we don't get any candy? We should probably just leave? We need to go to the first aid and just go? And one of my friends was like, are you serious? Are you going to be that guy right now? The guy that really wants to get candy? And I was like, yeah, you're right. We could probably still get candy while we're taking him to the first aid area. Who am I thinking? We can get candy and we could still have somewhat of a good exit. And I thought we were going to have a good exit. And instead it was a forced exit that was really rough. But here's what would have happened. We would have walked him down, and we would have stopped at those candy spots and whatnot, and we would have gotten some candy, and we would have gotten him some water bottles, and then we would have sat him down in the nurse station, and we probably just would have had the nurse really take a good look at him. Potentially, a part of me was thinking the nurse would be able to do stitches, right? Temporary stitches for us to be able to get him to for us to be able to get him home, and then he can go get himself checked out the next day. But the thing is, the nurse that did come by to address the situation, I just wish we were able to walk to her instead of her walk to us, because it would have been a lot more comfortable for him not to be in the public eye and to also be laying down. Also, it doesn't make Disney look good to always have people kind of circle around somebody that's potentially a disturbance. Having security guards all be bundled up in one area prevents security guards from being spread out. And as someone that's been to Disneyland a lot of times, I can tell you when they spread their security guards out, well, honestly, it makes it so then people that have something to do in the park that they probably don't want them to do, the ability to be able to do those things. So spreading everyone out like that, or spreading everyone out is more necessary. I was young in Disneyland's park at one point in time. I don't really do any of those things anymore, but I remember what it was like when I was younger. I'm not admitting to anything, especially here on YouTube. But I do remember what Disneyland used to be like. And it was crazy. But when you're young and you are doing that, people used to bring in all sorts of stuff. But then again, there was always underage. So it was different. When you're under 21 and you can't really technically drink in the park, if you're trying to do that, that's not okay. But also people have done it before. I've seen it, and I was never really big on that, but I've seen a lot of stuff happen. And seeing the security guards all bundle around a guy that's really no threat, that's just bleeding, that may or may not be completely inebriated, but was capable of communicating that he was fine and being able to articulate how he felt. And being able to communicate to that degree made me think that he actually was not past anything. He just was a little bit spaced. Also, he just recovered from some tough times where he was battling a disease. Don't feel like disclosing too much, but it's his life. I'm not naming anyone, but I am also like really interested to see like how, I don't know, Disney changes in the future, if they'll be more mindful about people that have speech impediment disabilities and not just label them as completely like inebriated. It doesn't make any sense. But then again, also, not all of them get hurt while like moving out of a ride, but he didn't get hurt technically on the ride. He fell getting off the ride. So he already was technically off the ride. He just basically fell while walking on pavement, which is completely different. So like, one of my friends that was watching from behind, it was like his feet were already both out of the ride. He just fell when he was right outside of the ride. So he didn't even have a foot of contact in the car that was actually the roller coaster car. So he wasn't really on the ride at all. He just fell right off of the ride. So if he was walking from point A to point B and just decided it accidentally fell, I believe it would be similar to just like what happened there. He was just walking and fell. And then we took him to the Huntington Hospital, and it took 4 hours. It took 4 hours. It also took me a long time to get to my car. They didn't make that easy for me, which I still don't understand why security didn't just do that. They kind of disclosed that they had the ability to do it, and then they just were like, you got to get there on your own. You got to drive on over. And I was just thinking to myself, like, they first offered to like help me get my friend to my car. And then they're telling me to get my car to the California Adventure, but they're also telling me to the California Adventure Hotel. But they're also like, not making it easier for me to get to my car fast. They want me to go with the hustle and bustle of everybody else. So my friends just kind of have to wait in the cold, outside in the valley area of the California. It's just like, this is a weird protocol. It's like they could have helped. They made it obvious that they were going to help at first. And then after a while, they were just like, oh, he refused the ambulance ride, so we're not going to help you guys get him to the car anymore, I guess. I don't know why. I'll look into it. Chia, thanks for being here, and thanks for calling me fine. It was really lame, honestly. But then when we got to the hospital, my roommate was also with me, and we were like being as helpful as possible to my friend, who ended up like, feeling really bad the entire time we were at the hospital. There were times where I stopped paying attention and I went on my phone, but for the most part, I needed to pay attention. I started to pay attention a lot more. And, we were in and out of different little like things that you do. I'd never been to the emergency room before. It was actually interesting to see how that works. So you check in, they call you in, they take your vitals, then they send you back out. Then they call you again for taking down all your information and your insurance information. Then they send you back out. And then they take you back in to have you on a bed if they can hit a bed. Lizzie's in the room. Nice to have you here, Lizzie. Thanks for being here and thanks for being part of it. And, this is like 3 hours. And we left at 4:31 p.m. because I took a photo of the parking ticket that also has like a stamp of like 1:30 or 1:30 a.m. So 1:30 a.m. to 4:30 a.m. And, he was in good spirits. So he just felt bad and he kept apologizing. And I do kind of feel like the security guards and the way that Disney responded didn't necessarily make him feel like, it was nothing. It made it so then he felt like it was really something. Sometimes trip can take up to 8 hours. Oh yeah, it can take a long time. We were really lucky. There was just no one there. Thanks for the heart me, Lizzie. I do appreciate you being here and appreciate the gifts and the shares in general. we're going to end the live stream pretty soon. Pretty much done telling the story, guys. Thanks for being here, and thanks for being for Piano Talk. I mean, Piano Talk is something to be for, right? It is fun to do these live streams experiences, so we're just going to wrap it up with the last end of the story. I'm like in the hospital with him. I'm saying jokes here and there. He's telling me how he doesn't want to tell people about it. He's telling me that, like he doesn't want people to necessarily know about it. And here I am recollecting the story and telling it, because he did also say I could, and he said I couldn't at the same time. But I want to leave him anonymous, because at the point of it, I just kind of want to bring attention to the fact that I don't know what Disney's doing all the time, but the whole situation could have been dealt with a little differently. I don't think they did everything wrong. I think that they showed up in a good way to... Oh, hey, how's it going? Justin, nice to have you here on TikTok. Nice to have you in the room. Like, Disney's, just like... The security guards need to be mindful when someone has a speech impediment and not just immediately label them as intoxicated. And they also need to be understanding if someone trips and falls. And then also they need to be more direct with the fact, are you helping me get my party to my car? Or are you not helping me get my party to my car? Why do things change as soon as, something comes around? If you're going to give me an indication that you're going to make this easier for us, but then also make it so it takes way longer, which is kind of like how, making it so my friend was just standing there with bleeding, where we could have just walked him to the nurse in the time that it took the nurse to walk up to where we were. And it would have been more preferred that way for the sake of comfort and for him not to feel embarrassed. When you have a bunch of security guards and a nurse crowd around someone that is coherent and capable of observing his surroundings, it just makes them feel awkward and does not necessarily make them feel good. Now, if you're thinking to yourself like, oh, but he was my, risk or something, he wasn't. He was not a risk. I understand that they have to make decisions based on liabilities and whatnot, but you can rewatch this live stream whenever you want. And you can pinpoint this story and try to tear it apart and, try to figure it out for what it is. But at the end of the day, I just kind of feel like he was treated more like a lawsuit than a person. And I think that he needed to be treated like a person in this situation that fell down. Not a person that got hurt on the ride, a person that fell down and was hurt and just kind of needed to be in a comfortable place to be assessed and not to be like castrated in a way. Not castrated, but in a way, they were like really hounding down on the situation. And we were all just kind of like trying to figure out how to navigate the security guards, which were there in like, a huge bundle in the dozens. Definitely adds another layer of stress that is unnecessary and humiliating. Yes, Tanita, thank you for saying that. It was stressful and humiliating for him. It also made it frustrating for us in the party, who were asked like 100 questions. They wanted to have our IDs. They wanted to know his address. I had to tell them at one point in time I didn't feel comfortable giving my friend's address out because he's like sitting right there. But then another one of my friends said that they already asked for his ID and they like looked at it for a long time. And then they still asked me for the guy's address. And his ID is legitimate. Like it's a California ID. That's a real ID. So he has that going on for him. But we were being asked a lot of the same questions by a lot of the same people. And it was just kind of switching between things. It kind of felt like, they had a procedure, but everyone had their own ego they were bringing to the table. And they were like, our department's a little different than the nurse's department. We're just making sure everyone's safe here. And then the nurse is like, I'm just trying to make sure that everything's okay. And honestly, the nurse was delightful. She was super nice. I wish I got her name. We should have got a picture with her, but I stopped taking pictures because I didn't want to take any pictures. And I didn't want to take any video. And maybe I should have taken some video of as many security guards were around us so that I could post that. But in the moment, I just didn't want my friend to feel more embarrassed. And taking photos and videos of those things actually makes them feel more embarrassed. So why put them on the the spot. I do need to care about the people in my life, and sometimes I can't film everything. So there's definitely going to be that happening from time to time. But I am documenting this here on TikTok and on YouTube for you to be able to rewatch whenever you want. Feel free to let me know how I'm doing with these live stream experiences, and I live stream every day. The live stream is coming to an end. Thanks for being here, guys. I'm going to get a good night's rest for myself. Hopefully you're going to get a good night's rest as well. And my cousin Lori's in the room. Give her a shout out if you're watching me here on the TikTok. I do appreciate you guys being here, and I appreciate my cousin being in the room too, but I always appreciate it when she's here and when you're here saying hi to her, because she's worth it. She's my cousin. It's nepotism. Anyways, thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for being part of it. Tap on that screen, share the live stream, but we're going to end in just a moment. Thank you for everyone who gave gifts and whatnot. We've talked through the stories. Those of you that want to know how it really ends, well, what ends up happening is we're in the ER for 3 hours. And in those 3 hours, a doctor comes in and has a delightful conversation with us about, what happened. And he's like not thinking that, he didn't think he was too, see, that doctor did not think that my friend was too, it's just, Disneyland saw a potential risk and flagged it. And it's okay to a certain degree, but he's still a person and he still deserves to be treated a little bit better, in my opinion. But when he was at the ER, they were treating him really well, and they weren't necessarily like, you drank too much. He did not drink too much, apparently. It kind of seemed like he did, but that was really because, when I was first looking at it, I was like, yeah, you fell. But then, when we were waiting in the waiting room, that's when he told me that he'd only been on 3 roller coasters. And that's when I found out that he didn't like being on roller coasters. Then he passed out a lot of times from roller coasters. And then a lot of things started to click in my head. And I was like, okay. And it's also, I wish I knew that before with the guards too, because when the security guards are there, I could have actually mentioned that, and maybe he could have too, but he was embarrassed. He didn't want to say anything. But I found that out at the end of the night, and I felt bad about it because I put upon the roller coaster ride, and I didn't have to do that one. But he also didn't tell me he didn't want to do that one. But he didn't tell me. If anyone wants to stay up a bit, I'm gonna draw on my Danita Dorito act for a bit. Oh, on your account. That's good. Also, guys, prioritize sleep to some degree. I do think that it's great for you to do that, but do not go to 4 a.m. And if you do go to 4 a.m., it'll be more of a disadvantage in life than an advantage in life if you live stream and sacrifice sleep for long periods of time. As much fun as it might be to hang out with people on the internet, be mindful about how long you're awake. Sarah, if you are here, you shouldn't be. You should be winding down your night and falling asleep. It's probably like 12 o'clock for you, and you need to sleep more. Ray, same goes for you and everyone on the East Coast. If you're here on the West Coast, it's the end of this live stream. I'm just wrapping things up, saying my last thoughts when it comes to this experience at Disneyland yesterday, where I'm documenting it here on YouTube for you to be able to rewatch whenever you want, and also live streaming here on TikTok. It was a lot of fun to be here with all you wonderfuls. If you're new here and you're part of the live stream experience and you're coming back on a regular basis, it's always great to have you here, and I do appreciate you. But if you are new, though, give me that follow. Come back. Keep coming back. We are trying to create a fun, safe environment for you to be able to interact with other people as well as each other. Not too late tonight. Just want to paint and get my hours in on that account. Yeah. No, that always sounds good. Just sleep. You can get your hours in and, not go to 4 a.m. But what I do, Danita, just so you're actually more aware, it's been 108 minutes. And my goal every time I live stream is just do 90 minutes a day. And yeah, sleep in. But 90 minutes is the golden sweet hour. And I'm a little over mine. So I already know that I'm not technically going to bed when I really wanted to go to bed right away. I was only going to do 90 minutes. And now I am still here. And it is definitely over 90 minutes. Not by much, but by 16 minutes. And that means the show's lasted 16 minutes longer than I wanted it to. That's right. I tried to plan it out a little bit. Regardless, these are live stream experiences that are just reality TV, where I'm here with you. If you're here with me, you can rewatch them here on YouTube. You can watch them live here on TikTok. 90 minutes is all I need. 90 minutes is when TikTok tells you, congratulations, You've gone 90 minutes. So I know for a fact, Danita, that they like it when we go 90 minutes. So I know that it's all they need. That's really the way to look at it. It's all they need from you. It's all you need too. No, I like it your way better. Say's all you need. But it is actually a marker on there. They do tell you you've gone live for 90 minutes. So they're paying attention to us. And when you go live for 90 minutes, I think that does actually mean something to them. 4 hours. They told me 90 minutes thing 4 hours in. Oh, they sometimes tell you 90 minutes after you've done another 90 minutes. So if you do 90 minutes and then you do another 90 minutes, it's going to say it again. It's just kind of what it does. I didn't know you were live. Oh, Lori. Yeah, well, I'm starting to sign off, but it is nice to have you here. Thanks for the gifts and thanks for being here. Thanks for the cat. I do appreciate it. It is nice to see people are jumping in. Oh, that makes sense. Thank you for the, yeah, I know, right? It is a very, good thing to know. Anyways, just to wrap things up, as we have done multiple times in the past, let's thank those moderators. The moderators here on TikTok are Mikey Milwaukee, Joe, Javier, Bubble Gizmo, Grant, the Coast of the Name Only Follow Ben. We also have Juliet, Danita, Davita, Dorito, Burrito. We got Rem, Lizzie, Izzy, and Abby, Banana Fana Fofabby. Those are our moderators here on the Tick of the Talk. I do appreciate them, and I appreciate you for appreciating them. If you're here on YouTube, do feel free to give me a follow, but also feel free to give a shout out and maybe a follow to those other moderators that are in the room as well. They keep the chat safe and fun. Hopefully you kept it PG and you had fun in the live chat experience along with me. The live chat experience was brought to you by some great people like Peaceful Kevin, Gabby, Liz, Brandon, and we also have Sarita, Sarah, so Indian, Danita Bonita, and we've got ourselves Miranda, Rosanna, a Juliet, and a Leo, a Dougie, a Nat, and a Lauren. Yeah, those are our moderators here on YouTube. All of them. I think I got them. And I appreciate all of them. I appreciate you for appreciating them. And I just appreciate you for being here in general. There's so much to watch out there on the internet. And for you to decide to watch me is honestly a really great feeling. So thanks for being here and thanks for being part of it. I do appreciate you guys being part of the live stream experience. Feel free to also join the conversation on the Discord server if you want to continue to talk to everyone that's in the room. And you're like, what? I don't really want to watch any more live streams, but I'm down to type and write. Well, go onto the Discord. If you also want to watch more live streams and you want to stay within this community, you just want to go on over to Danita Dorito's page. Dorito Danita. She's in the chat. Anyways, there will be another live stream experience that's happening not too long after this one's over, where one of the followers of mine is going to just, it's Danita Dorito DeVito. Danita Dorito DeVito is in the chat. She just said her name over there on TikTok. If you're watching here on YouTube, you can also watch it on TikTok. That is where she will be live streaming herself paint for a little while. If you want something to just wind down, I'm sure she'll have a peaceful, fun environment for you to be able to interact in. So do feel free to join her there and the other people in the community that continue to want to chit chat. It is a fun place to chit chat and make friends. I did have fun hanging out with you. Once again, we went over the experience in Disney's California Adventure, which was fun. We got a free pin and everything from the Woody Show, as the Woody Show did the what is it? It's called the After Hours Takeover, which was actually a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and it's the Woody Show Takeover from 98.7. Yeah, that's right. A radio station sponsored this event, and it was a lot of fun, and we're just documenting that experience here in the live stream, but we're also just kind of saying at the same time it was an interesting experience. It was a lot of fun while it lasted. There was an issue where we ended up at the hospital, specifically the ER. You can rewatch this live stream whenever you want here on YouTube. If you're just tuning in on TikTok, you might want to watch the live stream later, whenever you want. And I'm glad I had fun too. Thanks, Lori, for saying that over there on the TikTok. It is also nice to see that people have been chit-chatting with each other and having a lot of fun. Hope you rest tonight, Ben. Thanks. I do look forward to the sleep I'm getting tonight. I'm actually really tired from being at Disneyland yesterday, then being at the hospital. I was up for way too many hours, and I'm really tired, and I can use a good night's rest. And I had fun documenting and recollecting all that happened in the Disneyland story that was yesterday. That was another one to remember because things tend to happen to me at Disneyland, especially California Adventure, which there's been multiple stories I've had at California Adventure, which California Adventure is just like not the best park. It's across it's across the street from like one of the best theme parks. Disneyland is by far a lot better, but it was still fun to go through the map, to go through the food and wine festival details and all the food that I ended up eating. Thanks for being here and being part of my live stream experiences. I talked about those experiences. We had a lot of fun at the first half of the night. It just ended really abruptly with security being a little bit more pushy than I thought, but also they're being protective, trying to keep the environment safe for kids and for families. But I totally understand it was a special event where there wasn't as many kids, but there was still kids there. It was an experience that will be remembered as actually fun overall, because World of Color was amazing to watch, which I highly recommend that if you're going to California Adventure. Also, if you're going to California Adventure, I do recommend these rides just to end this live stream. So California Soaring is a must. And when it comes to the rides that are in the Pixar area, the Toy Story Mania is a must. And so is Cars Land with the Cars ride. And so is the Tower of Terror. Those are the main rides that I think everyone needs to go on when they're there, that are really fun to go on and are super exciting. If you go on the aerial ride, it tends to stop at frequent parts. And there's a video that I made where I'm filming myself on the ride and then it stops. And it stops while I'm filming myself on the ride. And I basically yell at my friends that are in a different car that I was like, I told you that the ride stops periodically. It's like you get stuck on the ride. And, you know, he thought it was funny. But I really made a scene. It's like the music cuts off and everything. It's just me yelling to a distant car of friends that are like, I told you this would happen. Yeah, it's fun times. Anyways, I enjoyed this live stream. I hope you enjoyed watching me. Thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for being part of it. I look forward to seeing you in future live stream experiences. Once again, I live stream every day. I'm Benjamin James Magrdichian. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me here on YouTube. And follow me here on TikTok. Yeah. And there's places in those spaces. Hopefully I'll see you next time. If you're new, give me that follow. If you're not new, well, I'll see you later. Do feel free to chit chat in the Discord app with me, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, Lori. Bye, cousins. Bye, all you wonderfuls. Continue to watch the live stream for Danita. Danita does her Dorito live stream soon, so do feel free to chime in on that one and be part of the experience. That's right. Danny DeVito is going to be taking on another live stream after this, so do feel free to join that live stream experience and be part of the chat and be part of the conversation with the other people in there. Anyways, thanks again for watching, guys. Have a great night. I'll see you next time. I'm going to live stream a lot earlier tomorrow. I should be live streaming about 4 o'clock because I'm going to be cooking dinner for my parents. I won't be eating in that live stream, but I will be cooking dinner for my parents. So do feel free to come back and be part of my live stream experience tomorrow as I cook dinner at my parents' house. Yeah, I do try to keep you guys updated and let you know what time the next live streams are, but I never really can fully commit since I'm a freelancer and my schedule's like all over the place. That's just what I plan on doing tomorrow. Hopefully it does end up working out. If it doesn't end up working out, well, you know what? You'll just see me at a later time because I live stream every day. Thanks again for being here, guys. I look forward to seeing you in the next live stream experience. Bye-bye. Ta-ta. I'm going to end the live stream over here on YouTube first. Yeah, that's right. I know, but that doesn't mean that, like,